It is, but I love it. I'm glad you're here. We got Texas, Orlando, Atlanta, Georgia, Virginia, and we also have, let's see, South Carolina. And we've got some gnomes in the background. It looks like everyone's pointing out Jim's gnomes. I love it. Hey friends, well, thanks for jumping in. We're gonna jump right into it. Of course, we got a lot to go over. And so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the time over to Trace and Jim that are gonna tag team on some announcements for today.
Trace, you're on mute, buddy. Our miming is not as good as we would hope.
He's voguing here. He's voguing.
Hey, Steven, you want to hit those disclaimers real quick, and then I'll.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Just a sec. And as always, let me pull these up, and I'll share some of our standard disclaimers as we always do. Let me share my screen here. Hold on a second. And there we go. And share. Okay. Here are our standard disclaimers. Again, you're all willing, and I mean, you're not willing. You're welcome to go ahead and take a picture of those if you'd like to, and read that later. But of course, I want to cover the most important information here, which is this may contain some forward-looking statements. There are no earnings claims or financial advice given on these calls. The digital rewards are for utility, DYOR, or do your own research. The information provided is for educational purposes. And then, of course, the nodes and the blockchains are governed by the DGF, or the Distributed Governance Framework. And back to you, Trace.
Awesome. Thank you, Steven. All right. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. So a lot of questions. We'll just kind of jump right into it, I think. And the first one that I wanted to talk about is just a distribution update. And so distribution, our devs worked really hard over the weekend. They got it done up through the 11th of December. So I'm showing my distribution is up to the 11th. Confirmed that on multiple accounts now. And so you should see that continuing just to kind of come in and progress. They're almost caught up, very close. Appreciate your patience. It's been a tough, about last 10 days or so, kind of wrapping that up, but it looks like they finally have figured it out, got everything out. And I wanted to share, one of the reasons why distribution was so slow is because we had so many manual orders coming in from the Las Vegas event. And there's a delay. I think you guys know this, and we'll talk about this a little bit when we talk about customer service. Some people have been wiring in, and it's been tricky because people haven't exactly followed the wiring instructions, and so it's created a mismatch between wire orders and the actual orders. And it's just taking a little bit of time to be able to get those in, make sure they're on the right days, make sure that they process for the right amount, make sure everybody gets paid the right commissions. So anyway, all of that's kind of really probably the biggest thing that's kind of slowed it down. So that's the distribution question. I didn't know if anybody had any questions about distribution or anything that I could answer really quickly. If you want to just kind of throw them in the chat, happy to answer them. But it looks like everything's going smoothly, and we're up through the 11th now. Should be awesome. I'll just keep my eye on the chat for that. We can kind of jump back to it if we need to. The next thing is NFTs. When will it be updated to today? It'll definitely happen this week, really. Yeah, it's going quick. It's what they have. It just depends on, as those orders. There are a couple like straggler orders, so every day they check it, and then they'll go through and make sure that it's accurate, and then they'll be able to run it. And so I think we'll see it happen pretty quickly. I'll get an update tomorrow morning. We'll update everybody just every day on it, but I think it'll be really fast now. So that's that. Good question.
Yep. On that note, it would be really helpful too if anybody out there is missing an order, if they reach out to customer support, that also could help us track down those few people if there's been something that you've been missing. That would be super helpful, kind of potentially speed up the process.
Yeah, definitely. All right, good deal. So the next one is an NFT update. And so I'm hoping that it happens tomorrow. It's looking really good. The NFTs are being minted. I'll get an update tomorrow morning, so we'll also share that on the 5 o'clock call tomorrow. But it looks like NFT distribution is also about to happen. I just want to reiterate, on the NFTs when they come out, a lot of you have earned Boost NFTs for promotions, different kinds of things like that. Make sure that you activate them. So when you get an NFT, it'll show up in the NFT section in your wallet. Make sure that you activate those NFTs so you can start receiving your Boost rewards. They'll work just like all the other brands with all the other NFT boosts. So anyway, that's the that's the deal with NFTs. So super excited that that's coming out. And now I wanted to jump into a quick customer service update. And so Allie mentioned to reach out if there's a missing wire order, but Emily, do you want to just kind of jump in and just say the most common issues you're seeing with wires and kind of getting all these orders processed? Yeah, isn't Emily the best? Oh my gosh, you look festive. So please let them know kind of a couple of tips and tricks on wires.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting a lot of questions, tickets coming in about wires. The biggest tip I have for wires is when you are going through your order inside your cart, and as the last screen, it pops up to say, enter this information, give this information to your bank. This is what your wire needs to include. There is going to be a little reference code on that screen. It is a combination of 5 numbers and letters. And that is super important for us to be able to match up your wire with the order that you actually put in. And when we don't have that reference number, it takes some time for us to track it down, but that is just for everyone's security, right? It's so that we can make sure that your order is getting matched up with the amount of the wire that you sent in. So that's my number one tip. If you don't have that reference number, for some reason you forgot to take a screenshot or whatever, if you can send us a message that says the account that you made the order the email, that your order is associated with, that's super helpful. That also would be able to help us track things down. Sometimes we get in wires that are from maybe a business account or an account that has a different name on it. And then we have no reference code and no connect name or email. And so those are hard for us to track down, right? We're doing our best to match everything up. But if it's a case like that, for sure, any information that you can provide is awesome. And if you sent in a wire and you're not seeing nodes populate in your account, you're not seeing your order history isn't showing your order for your wire, if you can reach out to us, that's also super helpful, because then it's possibly one of those orphan wires, and we can match that up and get you guys processed and on your way.
Thanks, Emily. And one thing about what Emily's saying is when you place a wire order, you get an email from the system that says, hey, here are the instructions, here's your reference code, make sure you use it. Like all of that stuff also gets emailed. So please make sure to double check that. So thank you, Emily.
Or even if just when you're on your order screen, if it's easiest to just like screenshot that, then you have all that information too. The reference code would be right there. So, yep.
Perfect. Okay, so I just want to run through, I'm trying to see, there were actually quite a few FAQs that kind of came, or questions that came through on the chat. I just want to make sure that we get them. I'll start from the bottom, actually, that's probably a little bit easier. All right, Pam was talking about wires being tricky. Sometimes the banks ask you to come in. Sometimes banks get funny about wires, and so yeah, they have to come in. They'll ask you questions, what's it for? It's for software. Whatever, and so they just want to kind of ask those questions and make sure that you know where you're wiring your stuff too. So that happens from time to time, Pam. Not totally unusual. Crypto is always the easiest way to pay because you can do anything you want with your crypto, and so that's nice. We got the promotional. Allie put the link to the promos. There are a couple of questions about the promotions. There's a question from TD. How do you choose which node to associate an NFT to? So there's number one, if you buy an NFT, like let's just say you bought a Win NFT or a Arlink NFT, in that purchase you declare it, so it gets sent to your brand wallet, and it actually automatically will be linked to that account, and then when you activate it, it'll attach it to your node. So you don't have to worry about choosing which node. If you have more than one, it'll choose one. So like you don't need to worry about which specific one it does. So that's a question. There's also, if you've earned NFTs or it's a promotion, it says you get to choose NFTs. There's a form that goes out. Emily, do you want to kind of talk about how people are choosing? Because I think we had a customer, one of our customers anyway, one of our customers in Europe asked a question today about, I hadn't received them yet, but what was the process for receiving them?
So if you are a Blockbot who has been working with the promotions and you feel there are NFTs that have not yet been assigned to you, make sure that you have turned in your NFT selection form, specifying the week that you want those rewards for, and then we can review that. We need to have a record of the NFTs that you are selecting, right? So we can't assign those if you haven't filled out that form. If you email customer service, we have a copy of the form we can send you. It's also was on all of the decks, and maybe I'll look for it and I can put a link here in the chat as well. But that's really important for us to be able to fulfill, is to make sure that we have your selections with the right week. So that, because sometimes people will put in multiple weeks, but they have different selections on them. So we just want to make sure that we're getting you the rewards that you earned and that you have selected, so we can get the right thing assigned.
All right. And I'm responding to a couple of questions too on there direct. Okay, so that's good. All right. So I think that's pretty much, oh, Alex or something else?
There was one more that we've come across with wires. It's been really helpful for a lot of people. Is sometimes when they go into the bank and they're trying to explain what a note is to some people, it can hold up the process. So if you are having to go in, like Pam, that's having to go into your bank and talk with everyone, basically they just need to know that you're purchasing software. And that helps sometimes speed up the process for you during your wire transition when you're kind of going through all that. So just an important note, sometimes that will help your bank process things quicker for your transaction.
Awesome. Okay. There was one more question. So for Arlene, there's probably, I think that, do we have like a schedule for Arlene community calls? There's a lot of Arlene questions about credit cards for Arlene subscriptions and different kinds of things. And so I know that stuff's in the works. We can't speak to it today. I'm not quite ready to do it, but I do see a bunch of questions about Arlene, and that's what I think that's what the answer is. They were trying to be able to do cards for subscribers and track the track the referrals and everything, and then just find a way to match it up into Connect. So I know that's a project. I know that's happening. Good questions. Okay, let's move on to it's 5:13, Jim, and I don't want to take all the time on just this update, but it is really important. We appreciate those questions. The next one on the list is, as far as receiving notes for Las Vegas, there was a Las Vegas promotion. Those notes have, I think, for the most part, been distributed, although they sent out one foundation's note instead of 5 to each of the people who attended Las Vegas. And so I know they're sending the additional 4 out. That's what I heard. So that is happening. That's in process, and that's what's happening.
Based on that?
Yeah.
There's also, so some people haven't set up their Elevate account yet. So if you don't have your Elevate account set up, we can't assign a note out to you. So if you haven't seen your Elevate one come across, most likely you need to go set that account up or log in to make sure that it got set up appropriately during the auto linking process. So remember that auto linking is in beta. So sometimes things happen with it. And so you just always want to log into your brand accounts and make sure that everything worked properly. So if you have any questions on that, you can reach out to support. They'll be able to help walk you through that. But most likely, I believe all of the Elevate ones have been assigned out unless they have an account. Didn't have an account to assign them to.
And if you didn't have an Elevate account, an email went out today prompting you with links on where to create your Element account, how to link it in Connect, reminding you to set up your wallet. If I said Element, I meant Elevate. I apologize. So you should have received an email today if you're missing your Elevate account.
And then to answer Jason Harrington's question about free gifts when they earned, those have been in the process of being distributed. So if you have any questions on that, reach out also to support. They'll be able to get you all taken care of individually.
All right. So the Elevate, so just a couple of things about Elevate and Foundations and Codex. So they aren't distributing yet. And so you don't need to run your nodes yet on those because they're not distributing rewards. So someone said, I haven't received rewards for my Elevate node yet. The distribution has not started for Elevate yet. So that's why you have not. That might be a common question. And lots of
the other one that popped up, Trace, is just around the hosting credits for Codex. So just as a reminder, this project launched with the Las Vegas event. So those will also be coming. You'll be getting more details around that for those that have purchased that. So don't worry about that. You'll get all taken care of once those do become available. There's just a couple things. Again, this is just getting in early. This is part of the awesome part is reserving your spot in the Codex blockchain, but it's also a little early for us to get out those details. So just keep an eye out in your email and you'll be getting them soon.
All right, last one. When should we host our Elevate node? Once there'll be an announcement that goes out when distribution's about to start, so that's when I would start hosting it. Jimmy, good question. Cool. All right, so I gotta move on a little bit. Thank you so much. Good questions. You guys maybe reply to a couple of these, like direct message some of these folks if anything else is coming up that hasn't been answered. Allie, do you want to talk about the block fabric? The update that's happening with them?
Yeah, so tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, there will be an update that's going on with Block Fabric. They've been working with a lot of the customer feedback. So those of you that are supporting that project, really appreciate it. They're doing a bunch of new updates and support around that. So tomorrow they will be offline for about an hour, so don't panic. Your nodes will continue to be hosted and online. They just have to do some maintenance on the site and some updates there. So if you go to their website directly, it will just show that it's not currently available. That's all that means. So 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, you can log back in and everything will be good to go.
Too easy. All right. Couple more things, and then I'll turn the time over to Jim. One more thing for me. I'll talk about customer service real quick, Jim, and then kind of back over to you. For a second, if you want to talk about the Brand President update for Wednesday. So we mentioned last week that we were adding some bandwidth to the team. And sweet Emily has been working so hard, and we're adding another customer service leader to the team. Her name is Lisa. And so you guys will be meeting her soon. Just wanted you to know that she starts tomorrow, and she's coming in for some onboarding. It takes a minute to learn a bit about blockchain. I don't know if anybody on this call has had a learning curve. That we're augmenting customer service. We'll do some onboarding for the rest of the year. You'll meet Lisa in January. Just want to let you guys know progress is happening with that, and that is really exciting. And so anyway, that's that. And then Jim, do you want to jump on and kind of take it from here for a sec?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about two things. One, how confusing would it be if we not only had an Elevate, an Element, but an Elaborate, and 3 or 4 other things that sounded similar as nodes? That would be fun. That would make it really tongue twister. And number 2, as far as that learning curve goes, I mean, how cool would it be if we had like 500 flashcards with everything from what is a blockchain to a node to a token to a reward to an ICO versus what we do? Like, the learning curve is steep. I haven't even been here a year yet. And those are words that weren't even in my vocabulary, much less what they meant. So if you're on that learning curve, give yourself a year. Usually I figure it takes 90 to 180 days, but this has been an awesome learning curve. So with that being said, one of the learning curves that we went through last year was, who are all these amazing brand presidents? What are their visions? What are their missions? And then what are the projects that they're working on to help these things? And we have, as you know, Mondays, we do this Connect update. Tuesdays, we have the OGs come in and talk about blockchain. Wednesdays, we feature a brand president so they can give you updates on what's happening with their products, their services, their programs. So this week, we're super excited. We've got Will Taylor with Grow, who's going to come on and share some of the updates, what he's most excited about, some of the new things that are happening with Grow, which is going to be fantastic. Will always does a great job preparing, drops some knowledge, and he's very transparent with what's happening in the community. So super excited about that. Make sure you tell all of the teams. With that being said, I want to ask you guys, when you think about the number 14, why is the number 14 so important right now at this time? Anybody have a guess? I'm gonna do a little brain twister here. Why is the number 14 so important today? Anybody know? This is a stretch. I'm gonna make you think for a minute. My wife actually nailed it. She's not even been here. She's been out all day. That's right. There's 14 days left until the end of the year. 14 days left, 2 weeks, a fortnight, basically. So let me talk to you a little bit about how we're going to close out the rest of this year. Between now and 12/24/24, we have the holiday promo. As you know, the deals are amazing. We've seen a lot of sales coming in. We've seen a lot of new customers come on board that are excited about the promos that are happening. So Ali has pasted a link there. If you haven't reviewed that every day, you should. If you haven't shared it with everybody on your team, you should. As a matter of fact, while we were prepping for this, my wife sends me a text and says, "Hey, my two great aunts they were with us at Sundance a couple of weeks ago for Thanksgiving, and they want to purchase some notes." And so they're like, "We're ready, let's go." So people know that there's incentives between now and the 24th. Make sure that you are educating everybody about it, because when we get to like 23rd, I think people are going to start to check out. But it's a really important time for people to be planning this in the year. The second big piece is Section 179. Section 179 in the United States is basically tax law that suggests that you can write off certain things, one of which is software. Okay, so obviously talk to your CPA, talk to your accountant, but like my wife and I are going through our financials going, how much are we projecting that we're going to pay in taxes? I would much rather allocate that to nodes, which can actually earn me more rewards versus just handing it to the government and they can do whatever they want to with it, right? So number one, holiday promo 12/24/24. Number two, Section 179. And we have a new marketing team that we are starting to work with. And I've asked them to build a campaign, really just a flyer of, one page or something like that, to educate people on Section 179. That will go out after Christmas. So December 26th, right around there, until December 31st. That's when it's most relevant for a lot of people. That's the time off. That's when people are like, yeah, how do I get this out of my accounts instead of into the government, into something like this? So beware of that. Our team, by the way, is going to take time off. We have been working really hard all year. As you know, we're a really small team. Everybody on this team works 15, 16 hours a day. And so we've really encouraged our team to take time off during the holidays so that we can relax, refocus, and recharge. Really important. With that being said, one of the processes that I have taught in every one of my companies for almost 17, 18 years now is something called an annual year-in review. All right, so we're going to do a year-in review workshop for anybody and everybody that you want to bring over. They can be in Connect. They don't have to be in Connect. It's a free workshop. I used to run this from our studio. Who knows, maybe I will, but next Monday, not next Monday, December 23rd. Is that next Monday? It is. Next Monday, December 23rd at the 5 o'clock Mountain Time, we're going to do an annual year-in review workshop, all right? Now, there's a packet and there's some preparation to do. So I'll make sure you get that packet and preparation. But let me explain why this is so powerful. I've been doing this for years because many times people will race from one year right into the next. They don't have a process to close out the year in an effective way. So I designed this process many years ago. And what it does is it gets you to use your calendar, it gets you to use your photos, it gets you to use your journals. And what you're going to do is there's a couple stages to it, but you're going to go back through this in a guided process, and you're going to start to look at all the wins that you've had in this past year. You're literally just going to start to do a list. The first part you're going to do from memory. The second part, I'm going to do a memory jogger with you live on Monday. And what ends up happening is most people realize, wow, there are wins that I had that I completely discounted, even some big wins. I remember one of the big wins I had one time was, I always wanted to be able to be in a position where I could do special things for my family. And so on my son's 16th birthday, which was 2 years ago, my wife and I purchased him a vehicle, even before he had his driver's license, 90 days before his birthday, and we hid this thing. We did this big ceremony at the top of Torrey Pines where me and some other men met him up at the top. It was a surprise. It was me and him walking up, and I had a group of men who had been a part of his raising as, from a boy to a man. And we did a ceremony at the top of Torrey Pines where each of the men and 4 of his friends talked about the things that they respected and loved about him. So this is something that was, I planned it for months. We've had all the people there. I even had a videographer there. We did this very special ceremony. But when it came to my annual year in review, I completely forgot about it until I went through this memory jogger process. It's crazy to think that oftentimes high achievers have a tendency to not appreciate or take time to pause and really reflect on our wins. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Like there's things that you know you've done and you forget about them because you delete or discount those. So that's the first and second stage. You do it on memory, then I'll take you through a memory jogger. Then the next stage is once you've seen all these wins, and you step back and you look at how amazing you are, all the things you accomplished, right? Then from there, we start setting goals for the next year. Think about it. Are you more likely to set stretch goals, big goals, if you've got a list of all the things you accomplished? Or if you drag into the next year or just bolt in the next year and didn't really take time to appreciate it? Well, obviously, your confidence level has a lot to do with the types of goals you choose. So this is a process that we design to help people close out the year and then get ready to set goals for the upcoming year. So that's going to be our year in review workshop. I'm going to send you all a packet so that you can start getting prepared. Okay. Gather up your resources. I'll take you through that next Monday. Bring anybody that you want to it. All right. This is going to be part of our culture initiative in 2025. We want to build a culture that's based on happiness, health, and wealth. Right. We're going to help everyone start to learn how to set better goals, how to become more accountable, how to become responsible for achieving anything you want in your life. The biggest goals, the things that even freak you out or scare you a little bit. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. And the year in review sets us up to go into January with our first 90-day happy, healthy, wealthy challenge. So at the beginning of the year, we are going to all participate in a happy, healthy, wealthy challenge where every day you're going to take 3 actions a day, and we're going to reward you. We're going to incentivize you for tracking your daily behaviors, for improving your mindset, your skill set, and your habits. This is a process from one of my other companies. We're going to bring it over here. I've used it at our solar company, and we built a company that called Ultimate Game of Life that is in 55 countries, and we've had over 20,000 entrepreneurs that have transformed their lives in 90 days or less. Okay, so we're going to bring that over here. We're working on all the details right now, but you and anyone you invite is going to be attached to your Connect blockchain if they want to come into this challenge. There'll be a free version of it and an NFT paid version of this. Okay, so there'll be different levels to this, but here's what I can promise you. Anyone who commits the first quarter of the year to this process, to focusing on your goals, not my goals, not Tracy's goals, your own personal goals, I will promise you that your future will look completely different at the end of that 90 days. Okay, it'll transform your life. It'll transform your mindset. Everything in your life is going to shift. And I know this because we've done it time and time again. So we will get you more details on that. We're actually bringing a team on board to help us with, really ramping this thing up. And we will give you share links that you can invite your friends, your family, coworkers, anybody that you think would be interested in transforming their life in 2025 and being part of a community that is committed to changing our lives and changing the world. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep talking about this over the next couple of weeks, because when we open up the registration, you and everybody you know will be allowed to register. And again, you'll be putting a share link in there. So when they get their NFT, either their free NFT or their paid one, they'll be a part of your Connect team. And we'll use it to not only teach happiness, health, and wealth, but the wealth section will be about blockchain, or about crypto. It'll be about helping people really take control of their futures. All right. So that's what we have in place. I think Trace, you had something in. You wanted to recognize some new block bots potentially that came in. Is that correct? And you're on mute, by the way.
I tend to do that a lot. No, I'm so bad, and I appreciate it. No, so Jim's talking about, and just to be clear, you guys know that we have calls Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. this week. Next week, we just have a Monday call at 5 p.m. I was talking to Jim about this earlier today. I am so fired up. It is going to be so amazing. You don't want anybody to miss this. Jim is, how many years have you spent doing this, Jim? It's
I think this will be the 19th year of.
Yeah, almost 20 years. So you're not getting like a rookie performance here. You're getting world class. And it's cool because these patterns remind me a lot as we've been social impact platform planning and that kind of stuff. This is going to set in motion some patterns as the platform launches next year, as we kind of like integrate it. It's going to be something that's really cool to people who participate in. So anyway, little plug for that. I know it's 5:31. Didn't want to miss, earlier, I think it was Ranjit said we have a new block bot. So I just wanted to, we actually have more than one new block bot. Okay. And we actually have some block bots from all around the world. And I didn't make a slide, Jim. And so I feel kind of sheepish having not made a slide. But I just wanted to announce some December block bots really quickly. December's always a funny month because we actually had a lot of sales. A lot of people buying their own stuff. Some people brought in friends, different kinds of things. But we have some block bots who've come in recently. So I just want to kind of highlight the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 block bots. Okay. And so we have 2 new block bots in the Netherlands, 1 in the US, 1 in Bangladesh, and 2 new block bots in Australia. So super fun. First, I'm going to start with the Netherlands. So we have Viola. She's a new block bot in the Netherlands. Ingrid was her sponsor. We have Viola Kovacs Timar. We also have Stefan Stru. In the Netherlands, Demelsa was her block bot who activated him, Stefan. So very cool. In the US, we had Mike Woods congratulating Karen Acock. She's the block bot who activated Mike Woods. So welcome, Mike. Awesome. Mike has an email for Heartstrong, and is the words in there. Sounds like he's got a good heart. So awesome, Mike, to have you here. And I love how I go for these. In Bangladesh, I do my best. I love you guys. Maharav Tanvir, activated by Blockbot Barkot Ula. So awesome to have another block bot in Bangladesh. You guys know we have a lot of block bots in Bangladesh. And then we're going to bring it on with 2 fun new block bots in Australia. So we have Effie Florados. Congratulations, Jennifer Tringner is one of our most famous block bots, BB5, I believe. So Jennifer, thank you so much. Congratulations, Effie, for becoming a block bot. And then we have Bridget Hunt. Want to congratulate Bridget, activated by Blockbot Dale Rogers. How cool is that? So I love watching our global community. We got a couple in Europe, we got a couple in Australia, we got 1 over in Asia, and then we have 1 in North America. So Blockbots unite, Blockbots welcome. It's so great. There are so many awesome benefits to being a Blockbot. And so here we are. And Jim, that's what we've got for Blockbot recognition today.
Awesome. Well, I think we did it in record time with as much stuff as we have to cover. And again, this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next week, just Monday. But we will have some communications going out about all the things that we've already mentioned. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, 158 people on here. That is fantastic. We'd love to see those numbers for next Monday be 5 times that. Minimum of 500 people on the annual year in review. This is a great opportunity to invite people who are into setting goals, into improving their lives, into an experience that will be incredible, I promise you. So have an amazing day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. And until we connect again, have fun. And remember, it's your choice to create your ultimate life. Game on.